Hey, what's up guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a really interesting deck profile. I was playing around with a couple of my cards and going through my extra deck binder, and I happened upon Rainbow Neos about 3 months ago. And quick story of the deck, I saw on different YouTube channels that this deck was topping the OCG a couple of months back, and I saw that I had, 3 copies of Rainbow Neos, and I was like, man, why not? Let's figure it out. So I started building this deck, and here we are. So this deck took me a little while to kind of perfect and wait on the SO-Day to come out to build the deck. But let's get straight on into it. It's a really fun deck, and it catches your opponent off guard. It's something that you can carry to locals and have a really good time with, and maybe even... I'm not going to say carry it to regionals, but it would be fun to carry it to regionals just to see how far you could actually get with this. But anyways, guys, let's get straight on into this and see what we're playing. But before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check out my Patreon down in the description below. So let's get straight on into this and see what I'm playing. So this is a pretty straightforward deck. So you're going to play 3 copies of Elemental Hero Neos. Elemental Hero Neos is just basically used for fusion material, and that's pretty much it. He's just used for the fusion material, and he's really good at doing that. Then you play 3 copies of Rainbow Dragon. You play the Rainbow Dragons because the Rainbow Dragon helps you fuse into the Rainbow Neos, and you have to play 3. Then you play 3 copies of Rainbow Dark Dragon. Rainbow Dark Dragon is another material to fuse into Rainbow Neos. So you have 6 targets to be able to fuse into the Rainbow Neos. Another card that you're playing in the deck to make up for being able to play the materials is 3 copies of Elemental Hero Prisma. Like, let me give you a quick scenario. Let's say your opening hand, you draw Polymerization and a Rainbow Dragon, but no Neos, because you're playing all those different copies of Neos, but you're a Rainbow Dragon, but you're not playing that many Neoses. So what you do is you make its name Neos to sustain the fact that you're not playing all the Neoses that you really need. So that's basically the reason that you have him in the deck at all. And he's also a hero target for a Hero Lives. So then we play 3 copies of Elemental Hero Shadow Mist, because this searches your Neos, and it also searches Mass Change, because this is actually technically a Mass Change deck, because I play a couple of cards in here to do that. And if it's Special Summon, you get to add a Mass or a Change quick play spell from your deck to your hand, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a hero monster from your deck to your hand. So you don't special summon it all that often. You usually are sending it off of Vion to get the search. And I will say the next card is the whole reason that the deck works. And that is 3 copies of Vision Hero Vion. Vision Hero Vion is the sole reason that this deck even functions, because what it does is when it's normal summon, you get special, or when it's normal or special summon, you can send a hero monster from your deck to the grave. But you can only use that once per turn. So your target is your Shadow Mist to search off of Neos. The other thing that you do is that once per turn you can banish a hero, which you banish the Shadow Mist because it's dead now that it's in the grave, and you get to add a Polymerization. So it literally just searches your Polymerization. That's the main purpose, is to search a Neos and a Polymerization both to your hand. And speaking of searching, we also play 1 copy of Elemental Hero Blazeman because we need to blaze it up. 420 blazing. And if you normal or special summon him, you get to add a Polymerization from your deck to your hand. The only thing is that you have to keep in mind about Blazeman is you can only activate either or effect of him per turn. You can also, let's see, where is it? Also send 1 Elemental Hero monster from your deck to the graveyard, except a copy of himself. And if you do, his attribute, attack, and defense become the same as that monster until the end phase of the turn, which is pretty cool. So you can kind of change his attribute around to make him what you need him to be. For mass change spells, if you want to go into Dark Law, he's kind of like playing that extra dark hero if you need to, because you can make Dark Law in this deck, and it's interesting that you can. But that's it for the monsters, guys. Pretty self-explanatory. All these are just kind of tools to get to your Rainbow Dragons and your Elemental Hero Neoses and your Rainbow Darks and stuff like that, to get them in your hand or on your field. You will never in this deck summon Rainbow Dragon. It will not happen. This deck is strictly just to summon out Rainbow Neos. Like, that's the sole purpose, and I will get into why in a moment. So that's it for the monsters. Let's get into spells. I cannot emphasize how fun this deck actually is to play, because there's just something satisfying about shuffling all your opponent's monsters back into the deck and then looking at them with a 4,500 beater and going, attack? I mean, it's just fun. So then for the monsters, we're playing one copy of Monster Reborn. I got Rainbow Neos on the mind. One copy of Monster Reborn, and lets you bring back any of your monsters. Usually you're going to bring back either a Rainbow Neos that's been correctly fusion summoned, or a Elemental Hero Neos or something like that to just attack your opponent with. So that's mainly why you play it. Then I play a Rhoda because it lets me search my Vion. This next card is my own little personal tech that I play in here. And I was flipping through my rare binder, and I was like, I really need something to get this bigger. And I really need to make an OTK with this. So I put in 2 copies of Assault Armor. Now, normally you're only going to have your Elemental Hero or your Rainbow Neos on the field. It's going to be the only monster you have. So you can equip this monster equip this to a warrior monster. If it's the only monster you control, it gains 300 attack. That doesn't matter. And during your main phase, you can send this equip card to the graveyard. And if you do, the equipped monster can attack twice. So you can banish or flip all their monsters and then attack them for 9,000. So that's the OTK with Assault Armor. And you just play 2 of them because you don't want to clog with it. So that's why I only play 2. There is times where you can just attack them once and then next turn attack them again and you got them. But this is just that it helps to have 2 of these in the deck. I thought about playing Megamorph in the deck instead, just to make him a 9,000 beater, but I just thought this was kind of cool. You can play anything in this place, like a Megamorph or something like that, to get it big. But I like Assault Armor because it can attack twice if you needed to. Then I play 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. I did not want to play Twin Twisters in this deck because I don't want to discard a bunch of stuff, so that's why I didn't play it. If you want to test it and play it out with Twin Twisters, be my guest. You can put anything in the slot that is Spell or Trap removal, but that's what this is reserved for, is these 2 spots. Then we play 3 copies of Polymerization. Polymerization is the key card of the deck besides Rainbow Neos, because you can't go into Rainbow Neos without Polymerization. 1 copy of Fusion Recovery. You can add a Polymerization and a Fusion Material monster from your graveyard to your hand. So basically, if you make Rainbow Neos, you can add a Rainbow Dragon or a Rainbow Dark or a Neos back to your hand. It really helps out because you can make that second Rainbow Neos if you need to. And sometimes you will. I mean, it's very rare, but if it gets Solemn Striked or something like that, you will need another one. And so I play 1 copy of Fusion Recovery. Then you play 3 copies of Melody of Awakening Dragons. Now this card specifically states you discard a card and then add 2 dragon monsters with 3,000 or more attack and 25 or less defense. And Rainbow Dragon, last time I checked, has 4,000 attack, which is more than 3,000, and 0 defense, which is less than 2,500. So it's searchable by Melody of Awakening Dragons, which people are actually playing this in the new Crystal Beast deck to search the Rainbow Dragons, I've seen. So really good card to search out your Rainbow Dragon and your Rainbow Dark to use it for fusion material. But the whole deck just searches the 2 fusion materials and Polymerization to make Rainbow Neos. I can make a Rainbow Neos in the first turn every single duel with this deck. Like, I'm totally serious. It's easy. It's fun. It can clog. I will say it can clog, but it's very rare that it does. 3 copies of E-Emergency Call. This lets you add Elemental Hero Neos or Shadow Mist to hand, or if you don't have a Polymerization, Blaze Man to hand. So it literally is a searchable Polymerization with a normal summon. So that's why I play 3 E-Calls. Then I play 3 A Hero Lives because you can make Shadow Mist on the field and get out Mass Change if you want to, but I don't recommend it. You usually want to use this to summon out... You usually want to summon out, like, Blaze Man to summon out to grab your Polymerization, because it's if he's normal or special summoned. But if you can do it if you want to. I mean, it's not bad to do it, but you can. Then I play for the final 2 cards, 2 copies of Mass Change. I'm only playing 2 because I don't want to go into that as much, because it's mainly focused around Rainbow Neos. That's it for the main deck. It's really, really fun. I cannot emphasize that enough. But that's it for the spells, and let's get straight into the extra deck. So we don't play any traps at all. No traps. This is completely trapless. It's just spells and monsters, because all you want to do is go for Rainbow Neos. Then you play 3 copies of Rainbow Neos. Rainbow Neos' effect is that you fusion. I mean, the materials is Neos and Rainbow Dark Dragon or Rainbow Dragon. And then it must be fusion some of the above fusion materials, which is fine because it becomes its name with Prisma. And then you can send 1 monster you control to the graveyard, shuffle all monsters your opponent controls into the deck, send 1 spell or trap you control to the graveyard, shuffle all spell and traps your opponent controls into the deck, or send 1 card from the top of your deck to the graveyard, shuffle all cards your opponent's graveyard into the deck. So you can shuffle anything but their hand back into their deck. Which is pretty crazy because it's a lot of minuses for your opponent. If they pendulum summon all their monsters out and then you do this, they're in a bad spot. The rest of the extra deck is kind of irrelevant besides some of the masked heroes. I play a Vision Hero Trinity because you can make it, and it's another win condition, because if you equip this with Assault Armor, it can attack 4 times, which is crazy, on each monster, and it becomes 5,000, I believe. Yeah, it becomes 5,000, but it can't attack directly. Pretty crazy, but you can make it. Vision Hero Adoration. Adoration is just another card you can make with 2 hero monsters. Or Skirt Owl, you can make it with a couple of different heroes, with Shadow Mist and any other monster. With any other elemental hero monster. The Shining, because you can make it with Neos and another elemental hero monster. Then for the mass change ones, we play Anki, Koga, 2 Dark Laws, because you can make Dark Law. Like I said, the rest of the extra deck, you don't really need all that much, besides Rainbow Neos and Dark Law and Trinity. Like, the rest of this, you rarely go into. I play a Castel because I can make rank 4s, and then I play 2 Asodes because if I can make this early game, I can end up making 2 Rainbow Neoses. That's the main reason I play it. And if my opponent makes a Link monster that points towards me, I make Proxy Dragon to point him to either side to make more Link plays or more extra deck plays, which I could make potentially, in theory, 3 Rainbow Neoses. I don't see it happening. I see 2 happening in this deck, but I don't see 3. You're going to win by the second one, if you even have to go into the second one. But anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. I hope you really enjoyed this deck profile. I really enjoyed taking this one. It's a lot of fun to play this deck. I cannot emphasize that enough. Really weird deck, and it's going to catch people off guard playing this, because they're going to see Rainbow, or they're going to see Elemental Hero Neos, and they're going to go, oh, he's playing Neospatians. And then you bust out Rainbow Neos, and they're like, what in the world are you doing? So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. I hope you enjoyed this deck profile, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.